You know what destroys more dreams than failure? Overthinking. That endless inner noise that keeps you stuck between what if, maybe later, and I'll start tomorrow. But here's the part nobody tells you. Samurai didn't overcome fear by becoming fearless. They overcame it by mastering a habit that silenced overthinking at its core. A habit so powerful that it allowed them to make life or death decisions with absolute calmness. And if you learn it today, your mind will never feel the same again. Welcome to Way of the Mastery. Here, we study forgotten Japanese systems of discipline, clarity, and mental strength, and bring them into modern life. Today, you will learn the samurai habit that destroys overthinking, a practice that created a mind capable of action, not hesitation. By the end, you'll understand why your mind keeps looping negative thoughts, the ancient habit that dissolves mental noise, how samurai built unshakable clarity, and how you can apply it starting today. Breathe, sit still, and let's begin. Section 1. Why your mind is loud. Most people believe overthinking is a sign of intelligence. It's not. In Japanese philosophy, overthinking is considered a sign of a mind that has lost its center. A mind that is not grounded tries to protect itself by replaying every possible scenario, every danger, every option, every potential failure. It becomes loud because it is afraid. Samurai understood this better than anyone. They didn't have the luxury of hesitation. If their mind froze for even 2 seconds, they could lose not an opportunity, but their life. So they studied the enemy within, the noisy mind. And here is what they discovered. 1. The mind overthinks when it tries to control the uncontrollable. Samurai observed a simple truth. When you try to control everything, you lose control of yourself. Overthinking is not about thinking too much. It's about thinking about things you can't change. You replay conversations you can't redo. You predict futures you can't know. You worry about outcomes you can't guarantee. Your mind becomes overloaded because it's fighting battles that don't exist yet. 2. The mind becomes loud when it lacks a single clear direction. A sword is sharp because all force is focused on one edge. Your mind is dull because your attention is scattered across 1,000 imaginary outcomes. Samurai had a word for this mental scatter. Konran, chaos of the spirit. When your attention divides, your anxiety multiplies. Your thoughts, like arrows fired in every direction, lose all power. 3. Overthinking is born from fear disguised as logic. We call it planning, but it's really fear wearing a suit. We call it being cautious, but it's really avoidance in disguise. Think about it. How many times have you convinced yourself you need one more day, one more plan, one more piece of information, when really, you just didn't want to take the first step? Samurai didn't allow fear to take the form of rationality. They confronted fear for what it truly was, a story created by the mind. For the mind gets loud when the body gets still. Not calm still, but frozen still. When you sit still with anxiety, your mind fills the silence with noise. Humans are not built to be mentally active and physically inactive at the same time. Samurai solved this through movement. Meditation was important, yes, but they also practiced forms, footwork, breathing drills, and rhythmic motion to burn out excess thought. A loud mind cannot survive in a moving body. 5. Overthinking happens because your mind wants certainty more than truth. Samurai accepted a brutal reality. Certainty does not exist. This freed them. Modern people cling to certainty. We need guarantees. Will I succeed? Will they like me? Will this work? What if I fail? Samurai embraced the opposite question. What must I do right now? When you shift from predicting outcomes to controlling actions, your mind becomes quiet because it finally has something real to hold on to. And this leads us directly to the samurai habit that destroys overthinking at its core. A habit so simple that you will wonder why no one taught it to you before. Let's go deeper. Section 2. The samurai habit to silence overthinking. The habit, Ippon Dachi, 1 point of attention. Samurai mastered a mental habit so simple, yet so powerful, that it allowed them to walk into uncertainty with a clear, silent mind. They called it Ippon-dachi, the one-point stance. To the outsider, it looks like a physical stance, but its true power lies in the mind. Ippon-dachi meant this. In every moment, the samurai locked their attention onto one single point. One action, one movement, one responsibility, one reality. Because the samurai understood, a mind with one target cannot overthink. Overthinking requires multiple paths, multiple outcomes, multiple fears, multiple imaginary futures. When you reduce your attention to one, everything else dies. Let's break down how this habit worked and why it can permanently silence the noise inside you. 1. The samurai single-point reset. Whenever a samurai felt their thoughts becoming scattered, their heartbeat increasing, their breathing tightening, their spirit drifting, they immediately returned to the one point. This point could be the center of the sword's guard, the opponent's throat, the sound of their own inhaling, a distant target, or even a single step forward. The moment the mind locks onto one point, all side thoughts collapse. It's like funneling water through a narrow tube. The pressure increases, the direction becomes precise, and the flow becomes unstoppable. Samurai didn't try to silence the mind. They narrowed it. You cannot quiet a hurricane by fighting the wind, but you can guide it through a single channel. 2. Why one-point attention destroys overthinking. Overthinking is the mind try to process too many possibilities at once. It's like running 20 apps on a weak phone. The device becomes hot, slow, frozen, confused. But humans are not designed for multi-directional focus. The brain evolved to solve one thread at a time, one task at a time, one movement at a time. The samurai used the one-point method because when the mind focuses on one thing, it stops creating imaginary problems. Asterisk, asterisk. You cannot worry about the future, replay the past, predict what others think, doubt yourself, spiral into analysis. If your attention is locked onto one single action, the mental noise disappears. Not because you fought it, but because you started. Overthinking has only one fuel source: your divided attention. Ippon-dachi eliminates that fuel. 3. The habit in action, the first step principle. Here is the true magic of this habit. The samurai never focused on the entire battle. They focused only on the first step, not the outcome, not the victory, not the danger, not the opponent's strength, not the future, just the first step. Samurai wisdom taught, when you take care of the first step, the second step reveals itself. But people today destroy themselves by trying to see the entire journey, every obstacle, every flaw, every step, every reaction, every outcome. This is why modern people overthink more than warriors ever did. You're trying to live 5 days ahead, 5 conversations ahead, 5 battles ahead. Samurai refused to think this way. They returned to one point, the next step, and nothing else. 4. The mind cannot panic when it has a job. You want to know a secret? Overthinking happens because your mind has no clear task. A mind without a task becomes a playground for fear. But when a samurai locked attention onto one point, even something as simple as step forward, exhale slowly, lift the sword, watch the opponent's right foot, there was no room for fear to multiply. The mind was busy. Fear needs space to grow. Clarity needs only a single target. 5. The one-point breath, the samurai's immediate reset. Samurai used breath as an anchor point, not meditation, not slow breathing for calmness, but a more tactical, tighter form. Kokyu Ippon, one-point breath. It works like this. Inhale through the nose. Feel the air stop at one point, the lower abdomen. Lock all attention into that point. Exhale sharply, as if cutting through the air. All attention collapses into one place. All noise disappears. All internal chaos dissolves. Because the mind cannot focus on fear, while it is focusing on breath. 6. The samurai habit in daily life. Ippon-dachi wasn't just for combat. Samurai used it for walking, eating, cleaning, listening, writing, speaking. Every action was a chance to train. 1 point only. When you drink tea, only drink tea. When you walk, only walk. When you breathe, only breathe. When you speak, only speak. Your mind becomes razor sharp because it stops scattering itself across 5 worlds. This is how samurai built deep presence, not by meditating in mountains, but by practicing 1 point attention through every moment of daily life. 7. The reason this habit fixes your mind. Here's the truth most people avoid. Your mind isn't broken. Your thinking isn't the enemy. Your anxiety isn't a flaw. Your attention is simply untrained. Samurai weren't born focused. They trained it, step by step, moment by moment, 1 point at a time. Overthinking doesn't go away because you try to stop. It goes away because your mind learns a different habit. Ippondachi is not just a practice. It's a way of living. Once your mind knows how to lock onto one thing, you stop living in the future. You stop replaying the past. You stop drowning in possibilities. You return to the only place where life is real, the present moment. Section 3. How to apply the samurai habit today. Most videos give you ideas. Samurai give you practices because they knew a truth we often forget. The mind changes only through repetition, not motivation. If you want to stop overthinking, you must train your attention the way samurai train their spirit, through small, daily rituals that shape who you become. Today, you will learn 3 practical samurai rituals to apply Ippondachi, the 1 point method, into your everyday life. These rituals are simple, but powerful enough to reshape the entire structure of your mind. Let's begin. Ritual 1. The 1 point morning reset. Your mind is loudest in the morning. It wakes up trying to solve problems that don't exist yet. What if today goes wrong? What if I'm behind? What if I fail? This is why samurai began each morning with a ritual that anchored their mind into a single point. Not meditation, not silence, not reflection, but something more direct. 1 point breath plus 1 step action. Here's how it works. Step 1, stand tall. Feet grounded. Feel your weight shift to the center of your body. This physical grounding is essential. Your mind cannot focus if your body is unstable. Step 2, choose your point. This could be a spot on the floor, a thought like first step, a sensation in your abdomen, or even your breath. This point becomes the center of your mind. Step 3, inhale deeply into the abdomen, not the chest, the stomach. Samurai believed clarity lived in the belly, not the head. Step 4, exhale sharply. This is symbolic. To the samurai, exhaling wasn't just breathing. It was cutting through the noise. Step 5, do 1 action immediately. Not planning, not deciding, not thinking. Just 1 action. Drink water. Make your bed. Stretch. Write 1 sentence. Clean 1 corner of your room. This is crucial. Your day must begin with action, not analysis. When you train your mind to start with 1 point plus action, you break the habit of morning overthinking. Your mind learns. We move. We don't spiral. Ritual 2. The samurai cut the thread technique. This is one of the most powerful anti-overthinking methods ever created, used by samurai during moments of panic, stress, fear, and mental chaos. They called it Tashin no Ito, cutting the thread of thought. Imagine your thoughts are threads tangled together. Every what if, every doubt, every replayed memory is a strand tightening around your mind. This technique cuts the entire knot instantly. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Notice the first sign of overthinking. Samurai were trained to catch the first spark of panic, not the explosion. For you, this might feel like tight chest, overanalysis, replaying conversations, feeling stuck, imagining worst-case scenarios, mind going in circles. Catch it early. Step 2. Place your awareness on 1 physical sensation. This is the cut. Choose 1. Your breath entering your nose, the feeling of your feet touching the ground, your hand touching your chest, air moving across your skin, your jaw relaxing, the back of your tongue. This moment is powerful. The brain cannot hold panic and physical awareness simultaneously. when attention shifts to the body, the thought thread weakens. Step 3. Exhale with force. This is the symbolic cut. A sharp exhale sends a signal to the nervous system. Drop it. Come back to the present. Samurai did this before drawing their sword. You can do it before entering a difficult conversation, making a decision, or calming your mind. Step 4. Replace the overthinking with one clear action. This is the secret. You don't fight the thought. You replace it. Examples. Instead of "what if I fail?" send the message. Instead of "should I start?" write one sentence. Instead of "what do they think of me?" straighten your back. Instead of "what if it goes wrong?" take one step forward. Action doesn't erase fear. It seals the cut. This ritual is lethal against overthinking because a mind in motion is a mind without fear. The samurai used this technique countless times per day. That's why panic never accumulated. They cut the thread early and returned to presence. Ritual 3. The samurai single-line discipline. This is the ritual that transforms your life over weeks and months. It rewires the brain for clarity, consistency, and calm strength. Samurai followed a principle. Finish what is in front of you before touching what is far from you. This became known as Ichi-san no Giri, the duty of one line. Here's how it works. You choose one task. You walk one line. You complete it fully. Asterisk, asterisk. No multitasking. No switching. No checking your phone. No jumping between tabs. No bouncing between goals. One line at a time. This is the opposite of how modern people live. You start one task. Open another. Jump to messages. Check social media. Begin another task. Come back. Lose focus. Lose time. Lose energy. Your brain becomes fragmented. Your willpower drains. Your clarity collapses. Samurai avoided this completely. Why this ritual destroys overthinking. Overthinking thrives in unfinished tasks. Every incomplete action becomes a loose thread, a mental tab still open, a background worry, a silent drain of attention, a cloud in the mind. When you train yourself to finish one thing fully before touching the next, 3 things happen. 1. Your confidence rises. Every completed task is a victory. Samurai built confidence through completion, not motivation. 2. Your anxiety drops. The mind loves closure. Each finished action reduces mental clutter. 3. Your attention becomes effortless. Focus stops being something you try to do. It becomes what you are. How to start. Pick one line each day. One workout. One assignment. One business task. One part of your room to clean. One practice. One commitment. Then complete it fully, without switching, without distractions. Do this for 30 days, and you will rebuild your mind from the ground up. How these rituals combine into one system. When you apply all 3 rituals. 1. Morning reset. Clears the noise before it starts. Asterisk, asterisk. 2. Cut the thread. Stops overthinking the moment it appears. Asterisk, asterisk. 3. One-line discipline. Prevents overthinking from returning. Asterisk, asterisk. This is why the samurai mind was unbreakable. Not because they were born that way, but because their rituals made it impossible for overthinking to survive. Section 4. The transformation. Rebuilding your mind the samurai way. If you apply the samurai 1-point habit, something subtle will begin to happen inside you. Not in a dramatic way. Not instantly. Not like flipping a switch. The transformation is quiet, slow, deep, and powerful. It happens the same way bamboo grows. Invisibly, underground, until suddenly it shoots upward. This is exactly how your mind will change. 1. The noise inside you begins to fade. At first, you won't even notice it. You'll simply realize that moments which used to overwhelm you don't anymore. A message you've been avoiding? You send it. A task you postponed? You start it. A decision you feared? You make it. A situation you used to replay endlessly? You let it go. Because when the habit of overthinking weakens, most problems lose their teeth. You no longer get stuck at step 0. You no longer drown in possibilities. You no longer freeze inside your own head. You become lighter, quicker, calmer, and the world stops feeling so loud. 2. Your actions become sharper, cleaner, and faster. Samurai had a principle. A slow mind creates a slow life. Overthinking is slow. It stops you from starting, moving, acting, deciding, growing. But once your mind learns Ippondachi, the one-point habit, your actions become immediate, not rushed, not chaotic, not impulsive, clean, single direction, precise. You start doing more in one day than you used to do in 1 week. Because now, you're not fighting yourself before every action. You just act. 3. You become impossible to mentally shake. Imagine 2 people, one whose thoughts scatter at the slightest stress, another who can lock into a single point instantly. Which one is harder to break? Which one stays calm under pressure? Which one continues moving forward no matter what? Which one stays grounded when life becomes chaotic? This is why samurai could walk into danger without trembling. They weren't fearless. They were focused. Fear collapses in front of focus. Anxiety collapses in front of focus. Self-doubt collapses in front of focus. Because the mind cannot panic and focus at the same time. You become a force of nature. Calm, steady, solid. 4. Life stops feeling complicated. Have you noticed that the most complicated problems are often solved by the simplest actions? Samurai live by this truth. The modern world makes things complicated because complexity sells. But samurai understood. Simplicity is the highest form of strength. When your attention becomes simple, your emotions become simple, your choices become simple, your goals become simple, your path becomes simple, life stops feeling like a maze and starts feeling like a straight road. Overthinking thrives in chaos, but order kills it. 5. You start trusting yourself again. Overthinking destroys self-trust. Because every time you hesitate, you teach your mind that you cannot rely on your own decisions. Samurai avoided this at all costs. They built trust through one thing: consistent small actions. When you practice the one-point morning reset, the thread-cutting technique, the one-line discipline, you develop a connection to yourself that most people never experience. Your mind learns. When I say I will act, I act. When I choose a path, I walk it. When fear rises, I remain steady. This is self-trust. This is confidence. This is inner strength. And once this grows, overthinking no longer has a place to live inside you. 6. You become a samurai in spirit. You don't need a sword or armor or a battlefield to adopt the samurai mind. The true samurai existed not in their weapons, but in their attention. When you bring your awareness to one point, one thing, one action, one moment, you become unstoppable. Nothing pulls you, nothing distracts you, nothing confuses you, because you are rooted in the present, the only place where strength exists. This is the transformation. This is the shift. This is the end of overthinking and the beginning of mastery. You begin living the way the samurai lived. Focused, calm, disciplined, unshakable. If you want a quieter mind, don't try to think less. Train your attention to follow one point. Because clarity isn't something you are born with. It's something you build. One breath, one step, one action at a time. If you want more Japanese systems for discipline, focus, and inner strength, subscribe to Way of the Mastery. This is only the beginning of your journey. Until next time, walk with purpose, move with clarity, and live with one point.